All right, it is 4 o'clock, so we're going to call this meeting to order, the Property Committee. We're going to go through roll call first, and we've got everybody present except Chair Barnett, Member Bloomfield, Member Wachinski. First item on the agenda is a consent agenda. Do I have a motion? Member Klein, motion. A second by Member Rogel. Any comments or questions on the minutes or the bills and transfers? We do have a note from the auditor saying that she's reviewed the bills and they all comply with the policies. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? And it passes. Next, item 3. Do we have any appearances by the member of the public?
We do not.
All right. Item 4, departmental matters.
Thank you, Chair Johnston. We have Mike Steffa is 4A1. He could not be here this evening. He does not have anything to present for action. He does have his monthly report available on pages 2 and 3. And if you have any questions, I will do my best to answer. If I cannot answer, I will reach out to Mr. Steffa and get those answers to you.
Any questions? All right, moving on. Item 4B, Mr. Doherty.
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Johnston. I have nothing to present for action items this evening. I do have my monthly report. Are there any questions that I can answer on that?
Any questions for Mr. Doherty? Member Rogel.
It looks like you actually have some people who have applied for the position, the mechanic position.
Yes,
So,
I do.
well, you might actually be able to fill those soon, hopefully.
I'm hoping.
Or
I
at
have
least one, maybe?
I have 3 interviews scheduled for tomorrow, so.
Great.
Any other questions? Sure, Member Klein.
Hi, so it wasn't on your list, but I just wanted to ask, the last time we were together, you showed us a picture of a spot on the Law and Justice Center where a truck had smashed the side. Has that been dealt with?
It has not been repaired yet. We did obtain a quote as the trucking firm requested and have turned that over to them.
Okay.
As well as the video. So the video was just mailed to them 2 weeks ago.
Is there evidence that
Yes.
it's their fault? Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? The only question I had, I did notice on both Government Center and the Health Department, we did not get a proposal for the switchgear upgrade, and so we postponed that till 24. Do we anticipate any issues, anything we need to be watching for because that's not getting upgraded?
Well, it is old gear, and back April of 21, we tested everything we could test without opening breakers and switches, and for just the hope that we could get them reclosed. So we went as far as we could go.
Okay.
And the technicians that were here from Snyder, formerly Square D, suggested that it is time to replace that gear.
Okay.
So I can't promise that we won't have any incidents, but right now, everything's closed. We haven't had any mishaps.
Okay. Was there a particular reason they didn't submit one, or they? You're not
That's
sure?
a good question.
Okay. I shouldn't know if there's anything.
I
in
don't know.
particular
I've
that was
been
a
after
problem.
them for a year to get their quotes in, and I've told them when the budget time was, and I still don't have anything, so.
All right. Well, I hope that we can hold on until we get it in through the
Yes.
proper channels. So, thank you.
Mhm.
All right. If no other questions, item 4C, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you. So I do have something to present for action tonight. We have the approval of a contract for a spatial study of the Government Center, and that's on pages 7 through 18. This was a project that was started a couple of years ago and then put on hold. This is with a firm downtown, Paul Charnett and Associates will be doing the work. He also helped us with recent work at the museum. And I forgot to put in my memo one key component of this, which is, and thank you, Val, for bringing it to my attention. The city of Bloomington is paying for half of this project, and so the county will contract with the architecture firm, but we are splitting the costs with the city of Bloomington 50-50.
Thank you. Couple questions I had. I'm trying to read through it very quickly, trying to read through it thoroughly. Will this include any kind of utility efficiencies or simply shared space and departmental efficiencies?
The focus will be on the shared space and departmental efficiencies, but we are going to reach out to Mr. Charnett to see if he could incorporate any other kind of efficiencies that he sees. I know that has been a conversation with Mr. Doherty and administrative staff, that when something goes out, to replace it with something that would be more efficient, like the LED lighting, et cetera. And so that is on our, it is in the back of our minds when things are replaced, but to have an overall remodel of all of that, we haven't delved that far into it.
Okay. It also mentioned in the contract outlining a schedule, but there wasn't any like specific details in this particular draft that we were reading. Does the staff have any idea timeline, what we're looking at for phase 1 and 2?
So I think we do have a timeline for phase 1 and 2. Do you have that with you, Tony?
Okay. And while he's looking that up, is phase 3 and 4 going to be really contingent on what they find in phase 1 and 2, whether we
Yes.
proceed? Okay.
Well, or how we proceed.
How we
So I
proceed,
think it depends a lot on the overall project and how we can manage that within each year. So it may be that we have to divide up the project into several phases
Okay.
for implementation, and that will be prioritized based on what we can manage fiscally, but also the greatest need.
Okay. Any other questions while we're waiting on the timeline? But this is really meant to, just to make it, the building more efficient, both for the departments and then as far as like part of our contract with the city of Bloomington for using this building is to be split space, and to make sure that we're doing that as well.
Correct. And we have some space that is general space that is underutilized, and we have departments who are out of space and requesting more storage. And so it's just really to look at efficiencies, how each office and their office flow can be designed for the maximization of that space. But then also for some of the more general spaces, I'm thinking of in the basement of, we've got a lot of wasted space. And so how could we better use that?
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
In regards to timelines on this project, once it was, if it's passed by the board, we would schedule a meeting with ourselves and the city of Bloomington to understand who would need to be interviewed, and that would impact the scope in regards to that. The more people that were involved, whether it was just the department heads or if it reached down into the working level staff, it would expand the actual timeline in regards to that. So at this time, I can't tell you specifically, it'll be done by the end of the year or 3 months. Once we sit down and we determine exactly who needs to be surveyed, we would have a more specific timeline that we can get back to you once those conversations are completed.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we have an item on the floor. Do I have a motion? Motion by Member Klein, second by Member Lehman. All in favor? All opposed? All right, passes.
Thank you, Vice Chair Johnston. The next item is for information only, and that is that we are moving forward with the plaster repair and painting at the old Courthouse Historical Museum. This was the second step in a multi-step process after we had the roof repaired and the drains repaired. Now the next step is to repair the internal damage that was found from all of the leaks. And so that will be presented to the executive committee because it will be utilizing ARPA funds. But if you have any questions about that project, that is underway.
Any questions? All right.
And then the next item is just an item that Chair Barnett has requested we present at equal intervals throughout the year. That is our second quarter budget with some infographics to show you where we are in our departments. And I can answer any questions you might have with that.
Any questions?
I have nothing else to present.
Yes, Member Lehman?
Sorry, apologies on the delay there. So with the salaries, since we have way more remaining budget than actual, specifically on like the facilities maintenance, is that more so attributed to having vacancies?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Hopefully with some upcoming hiring, we can level that out.
Yes, that is our hope.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Any other business or communications from the committee? If there are none, then I will say we are moving for adjournment. Thank you very much.